Hey, what's up, boxing fans? This is the Rope and Dope Report after the fight, box score edition. I had to work last night really late. I taped it, got home, watched it. It was just too late, way too late in the night to be uploading a video. I had to go to sleep, and I'm actually on my way to work. I'm having a little problem with my internet right now. I have a couple of prediction shows that I want to upload, and obviously I need to upload this, so I might do it at work tonight. Anyway, let's get right into the fight. Cristobal Areola versus Jameel McClain. Areola, man, came out really good. Okay, so he weighed 255, right? He's not 245 or 240. That kind of sucks, you know, and I keep hearing all these interviews, I'm going to try to really get down to that weight. He said that, right about the weigh-in time. I heard an interview, and it's like, or like right after fights, the last 2 times he said, I'm gonna get back in the gym, and this and that. And I'm not saying he's not training, because you can tell he's not tired in there. It's just, if you were 240 and 235 not long ago, you should still be able to get there. So, anyway, whatever. He looked good, though. He looked good. Hands up always, but this time his hands were up with a little head movement. Once in a while, McClain would try to throw a nice jab, and he'd duck the jab and counter. He looked really good. In the last handful of fights, even though he's knocked out everybody, you saw flaws. And obviously, McClain still tagged him a couple good times, but it shows he can take a punch. In his last fight against Travis Walker, he took a bunch of punches in one round, but he took a knee, composed himself, got up, and knocked that guy out. So, like I said, no matter what happens with Cristobal Areola, he can turn a fight in a second. Anyway, he was leading with the jab. Like I said, he had good body movement somewhat. He was moving his head. Wasn't just there to get hit all the time. He definitely was going to the body. And I thought that his whole attack and his whole approach was very, very good. Now, Jameel McClain, he had a little this stuff going. He had kind of the Cristobal Areola stuff. And he has some stuff here once in a while, but he usually has at least a tighter stomach. He took the fight on 6 weeks' notice. But that's somewhat of enough time to get going, especially if you were looking for a fight. So hopefully when you're looking for a fight and your management's out there looking for a fight, well, actually, maybe he wasn't looking for a fight. Maybe he just got the phone call. That's what it sounds like. So I'll take that back. But a lot of times if you're looking for a fight, I don't like the 6-week notice, I only had 6 weeks. Well, a lot of people use this, and I'm not talking about Areola because I was wrong about this, but it's just kind of weak because you should be in camp. Or not in camp, but at least in the gym while negotiations are taking place. If it's going to be something that the date's coming up. But anyway, I thought it was a good test. He's basically beaten almost, besides Eddie Chambers, I believe, almost every American that's out there. That's anything. I do believe and I think that Eddie Chambers, that would be a great test for him. It would let him go against the Vladimir guy that can box with a jab. I think it's a good fight. It's someone that's in their prime right now. And like I said, good things for Areola. He won by the knockout, just as I predicted. Now, I predicted Winky in a tight fight. What can I say? Paul Williams, man, that was the best performance I've ever seen from him. He had head movement. He was using his feet. He was using his upper body. He was obviously using every punch in the book. That punch when they're both holding each other, or Paul Williams is holding, or Winky's holding, they had a good shot of Winky holding Paul's arm. And that little crazy uppercut, he kept doing it. It's a little cheap at times, but it's funny, and sometimes it's effective if someone's holding your arm. Like, all right, there you go. I've just never seen that. Just big old punch. It was pretty funny. I don't know if you guys, well, you had to have caught that because they even showed a replay of it. It was pretty funny. Anyway, for probably if you look at the first 6 rounds, probably 30 seconds or 40 seconds or maybe even a full minute somewhere in there, Winky was countering and showing some of the flaws that Paul Williams has. The leaning forward, the big hooks, the wide hooks once in a while. He's open for the right hand and just open to get hit. not crazily hit. He does have good defense. Like I said, his head movement and all that. He's just so busy that he gets hit off that. So he was exploiting that, but I really didn't see. I didn't think there'd be a no head movement Winky. You know, his corner. You can't blame his corner because they kept saying, "Move your head, man. Move your head. Throw your punches." Obviously, you know, almost 2 years out of the ring, Winky was not the Winky Wright we all know. But you can't take the credit away from Paul Williams. You know, he looked in shape as far as Winky, so he looked in shape. I think his rhythm and timing was the problem. He couldn't get his rhythm. So if you look at the first 5 rounds, obviously you have Paul Williams winning, but you can see where Winky could maybe change the fight later. Because, you know, sometimes he'll go through those, like they were saying, you know, get 5 or 6 punches thrown at you to counter with a big punch, and then slowly take the fight over as the fight goes, which is kind of his style. Well, wasn't going to work against the Punisher. And I hope Paul Williams, the Punisher, gets a lot of big fights from here on out. And I think the fact that he's willing to fight at 147, 154, and 160 will allow him to get big fights somewhere in there. But yeah, great night. I was wrong about Winky. I'll be the first to say it. I don't think he'd ever have beat. I just think the style for him didn't. I think it'd be a tighter fight if Winky was a little younger, or if he was at least not ring rusted. But either way, I think Paul Williams would have beat him. So I was wrong. I'll be the first one to admit. But I did want Paul Williams to win because I think it's better for boxing, and we need guys like this that'll fight anywhere. And Winky Wright was like that. Right now, he's such an older man in the sport that it's kind of like, all right, see ya, Winky, you know. But it's a great thing for boxing. I've always said that, even though I was picking against Paul Williams. And I wanted Paul Williams to win. I like Paul Williams. So, anyway, this was another edition of the Rope and Dope Report. I am your host, Chris Carlson. Peace.